Hello and welcome. Hi, my name is Alexandra Figueredo, and I'm a branding and visibility strategist, and I work with entrepreneurs who want to show up, stand out, be seen and heard with their unique brand, attract more ideal clients, and really make a bigger impact. And today we are talking about, I'm actually going to share my screen. I don't normally do this but I have a little PowerPoint for you. Make it a little easier to watch my content. So today we're talking about 3 steps to consistently create captivating branded content. All right. So you are here if you've been trying to create online content and are getting crickets in the comments. Been there. You're overwhelmed and don't know what content to create for your brand. Been there. And you're just starting out with your business and need a plan to start. Or you haven't been consistent with your content and branding strategy. Been there, been there, been there. So I love this. Quote from me: showing up consistently is an essential part of elevating your brand and visibility. In fact, consistency, being consistent across all platforms, is actually one of the 7 steps in my 7-step signature system for creating and building an irresistible brand. So we want to show up consistently because it helps we'll just do all of it here. Sorry. It helps your audience identify you and what you do and what you offer. Also, it builds trust and credibility, right? So if you see, who has ever seen a brand or a person, individual that either maybe doesn't post for a really long time or they change their message every week? I've been there too, right? Like it definitely happens where people create inconsistent content, and it will hurt your credibility. So it's definitely a way to build trust when people see you showing up consistently. And then it avoids confusion with your audience. So if you're not being consistent, there's confusion in, hey, what do you do? There's confusion in who do you support? Who do you help? There's confusion if people, like, I've actually had people reach out to me when I've taken like a sabbatical, we'll call it, on posting, and reach out and find out, like, hey, are you okay? Is everything okay? They were concerned for me, and that made me feel really good, but also was, really highlighted the importance of being consistent and showing up consistently. And I'm going to share some tips in a little bit on ways for you to be more consistent. So there's 3 steps to showing up consistently with your content. First is having your brand and audience overlap, right? Because for me, I always want to start with strategy. Next is coming up with content categories customized for your business and developing your plan. So let's get right into it. This shouldn't be a super long discussion, but I do have some slides, so help me keep me on track and give you some content. Make sure you take notes. All right, so step 1 is to, and hopefully you can read that. It says your audience and brand overlap. So part of branding is understanding, and marketing, really, any business or marketing strategy is understanding who is your audience. Who are you targeting? Who are you trying to reach? And be specific. Your business is not to be in the business of helping everyone. You want to be specific. And the reason you want to be specific is because it allows you to really understand who they are, what they care about, what their pain points are, and what are their goals and desires. The better you are at understanding all of their pain points, goals, and desires, the better you can reach them, the better you can communicate to them. Okay. And so that's really, really key, and an amazing starting point is understanding who your audience is. And so I always like to come up with a few, like have my my few key pain points, goals, and desires, so that I really narrow down my message to my audience. And then what is your brand identity? How are you helping them? How are you serving them? How are you showing up? What does your brand represent? One of the reasons why you notice this, my brand colors are purple. So it's not a coincidence that my PowerPoint is purple and that I like to wear purple a lot. That's part of my brand identity. And by the way, colors by no means are like your brand colors and your logo is not your brand. It's just what it represents. And so for me, wearing purple a lot, purple and gold are my brand colors. It helps me to create a sense of consistency. So what is your brand identity? And by the way, with consistency on, especially like on social media, whatever visual component you have, branding, colors, branding, themes is part of being consistent. Okay. And where is the overlap? So where's the overlap between what your audience needs and wants, what their pain points are, and how you show up for them and how you can serve them? So that overlap is what you want to be talking about online, is what you want to be talking, is what you want to use in your visibility and marketing strategy, is what you want to use in your content strategy, so that you are able to better communicate to your audience. So that's the first thing, is understanding your audience and brand overlap. Okay. So second thing, step 2, is creating your content categories. And the goal here is to create the most value for your audience and consistency for your brand. So if you've got this framework for your content, then it takes the guesswork out of, well, what should I be sharing? What should I be talking about? Taking a little time to outline and strategize your content categories can help you for years to come, right? And I'm not saying you're not going to adapt or change your content categories. I'm just saying having a framework can help you for years to come. So I'm a really big fan of creating strategy and creating frameworks. So what I suggest is sticking to around 6 content categories for your main content plan to keep it focused, right? So if you're like creating so much different content, it actually can seem less consistent if you're like all over the place. So we want to keep you focused, and then every once in a while you can veer from the content categories and create something really interesting or unique, or maybe you adapt or you change or you transition your content plan. So I'm going to go through this kind of quickly because it's a lot of information, but it's going to give you some ideas of what you can have for your content categories. So especially since most of my clients are coaches and consultants, a lot of the content, we want to keep it within these 4 main categories. By no means is this an exhaustive list, but these are the main buckets of purpose for your content categories. So first is to educate. We want to educate our audience so that we build authority. And actually, the next one is also building authority. But educating shows that you know your stuff. It builds credibility. Building authority, educating can build authority, but also building authority could be things like posting about any awards you've won, or any talks that you're in, summits that you're doing, interviews that you've done, podcasts, newspaper articles, things like that. The third is to engage. We want to connect with our audience and really make that connection with them so that they understand that you know what they're going through, that you have the solution to their problem, and maybe even that you're going through the problem or that you've gone through those problems, right? Because many of us are our own avatar. Many of us are our own ideal client. We were where our client was 6 months ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago. So really important to engage. And then lastly is to make an impact. And that can be because it's part of your mission. It's because it's part of how you're serving. It's because you want to reach many more people. You want to help many more people. So you want to inspire and motivate. So those are the 4 main kind of purposes, category purposes, right? And so what I suggest here is when you're creating your content plan, before you create your content categories, is look at your insights. If you're on social media, you can even maybe intuitively already know based on just how you post and what engagement you get. Find out uh, oh wait, check your insights on your social media platforms you use most. If your account is new, look at a competitor's profiles. So here with insights, what's important here is to see what is already getting the engagement. What of your content already is getting people to like it, to comment, to share, right? Do you have any viral posts, right? That's a really good way to see, hey, what's getting the engagement already in your content. And then also, what do you love to create? Maybe it's not really getting that much engagement yet, but you love to create it and you're going to continue. It's going to help you to become more consistent when you're doing things that you love. So a good example for me is that I really used to not like posting photos of myself. I didn't think it was very professional. And so I posted photos of other people, like stock photos of other people. And yet, photos of myself, including selfies, actually get the most engagement, get the most likes, get a lot of comments, and really engages my audience a lot. And so I've started to embrace the photos of me and incorporate it, and then I'll have like an educational message attached to the photo. But sometimes the photo is just to inspire. Sometimes it's just to engage and maybe share something interesting or cool that's happened to me. So some examples of content categories, especially now this is kind of designed for coaches, consultants, educational, like expert tips, strategies, tools, informational, trends, industry news. If you're a real estate agent or a health coach, trends and industry news is really awesome. Financial coach, right? All of those things, great trends and news. All people always want to find out what's happening. Case studies. You can take past client experiences or your own experiences and make those into teachable moments and testimonials. Storytelling, your transformational journey. It could be your then and now or your client's then and now. And that can actually overlap with case studies. Authority building, things like I said earlier, if you've been on the newspaper, if you're hosting events, if you're interviewed for an event, summits. Entertainment. So entertainment is actually one of those that kind of overlaps in a lot of things because you can take entertaining videos and make them educational, like by adding music or by adding adding comedy, adding humor. You can take something that's educational, informational, and turn it into entertainment. And then lastly, inspirational and motivational. Those can be motivational quotes. It could be videos. It could be like the selfies or the photos that you post of yourself, maybe sharing something, a vulnerable moment. That's inspirational, motivational. So this is just some ideas that you can get for your own content categories. And I suggest having six main content categories for your specific business. So I'm going to go through this. This is like what a coach's content categories would be. And then I'll share mine. So educational could be tips on your main area of expertise. Like we said, trends, industry news, whatever your business, whatever your industry is, talk about it. Entertainment and inspirational. I like sharing a lot of success mindset videos, a lot of videos, reels on Instagram, for example, and on TikTok. Inspirational quotes. It could be your own quotes or it could be other people's quotes. Transformational journey helps you to establish your authority if you can share how your clients have gone from then and now, or if you can highlight your own clients as testimonials and case studies. And then lastly, authority boosters. So these are your podcasts, your media, your events, like we said. So for me, my main categories, content categories in order of priority is I like to talk about tips on branding and standing out, tips on visibility and being seen and heard. I like to create one of the big pain points for my audience is imposter syndrome, not feeling confident, not, things like that. And I like to create a lot of funny videos. I do create a lot of entertaining videos around not feeling seen and heard. That's one of my most popular videos, has to do with imposter syndrome. I also do entertaining photos things like mindset, even my own selfies and my own photos, things related to mindset and stories, which helps to tackle some of the solutions for the imposter syndrome, and also why people aren't being seen and heard and why they're not standing out. I also do authority boosters. So every once in a while, I post about different things that I'm a part of, speaking engagements and things like that, and then client case studies and testimonials. So I want you to take the ideas that I had here and create your own 6 categories. These are your main categories of content. The third step then is creating your content plan based on those 6 categories that you're going to create for your content. This is a framework for organizing your content, okay? So this is a way for you to know and get an idea, okay, I've been creating a lot of tips for my, educational tips. What else can I create to kind of shake things up, create some diversity in my content while still being consistent and focused in my content? So for August, since we just started August, you can brainstorm 2 to 5 content ideas for each of the 6 categories. And then I want you to start a document. You could do this as a Google Doc of a 12-month document and divide it into by month with your content categories. And then you can do that. Like, you could probably spend like 10 minutes coming up with content themes for each month. Like, we're coming up to fall, so we're going to start in Halloween, and then Thanksgiving if you're in the US, and then Christmas and holiday time and New Year time, right? Like, a lot of themes can come up in the last quarter of the year. And for your own industry, right? So if you are in real estate, there's going to be different themes relevant for your industry than if you're in the health industry. And if you're in the finance industry, there might be some critical things coming up for you, or coming up that you know of, that you can talk about and create content around. So as a rule of thumb, if you want to grow, especially on social media, you want to create content mostly in your first 2 categories. So you want to prioritize your top 2 categories that are related to your business. Whatever your business or brand is about, we want to focus and create most of our content around those 2 categories. Then the next 2 categories, categories 3 and 4, we'll call them less of a priority. I wouldn't say less important, but they're less of a priority. So create less content in that area. And then your last categories, usually those are things like any type of sales videos, any type of authority boosters. You don't want to put all of that because it's going to come across too salesy or too pushy. We want to pepper that in. And so that's the least amount of content is going to be in those 5 and 6 categories. Consistency is more important though. So making sure that you're posting consistently, I want you to make sure you're posting consistently, is more important than following, like, oh, I have to have three pieces out this week, and this, it's more important that you're consistent. I'm going to give you some tips on that in just a minute. So consistency is the key, right? Is more important than you creating tons of content and this week, and then next week you fall off the planet for a week or 2, right? It's more important that you have a steady flow, if possible, a steady cadence of content. And I would suggest that you build up the number of days and types of content that you create. So for example, many of my clients and many of you who watch this, I remember when I said you're here if, many of you are posting once or twice a week, or maybe you're not even posting at all. Build up to it. So if you're currently posting 2 times per week, then maybe start by trying to post 3 to 4 times per week. If you're posting 1 time per week, then maybe up that to 2 times a week. If you're posting every other week, then let's get you posting 1 time per week, right? Whatever it is, let's just build it up. I want you to be successful. So I don't want you to go from 0 to 60. I want you to create consistent habits. And one way to create content is to batch your content and also posting on certain days. So batching is when you take, like, let's say an hour to create lots of content, for example, using a platform like Canva, which is a free tool, batching and creating lots of content so that you have content for the week and maybe even beyond the week. And also posting on certain days. So it really helps, like, for example, on Mondays might be a good like start of the week post. Wednesday could be like hump day post. So you could be something like one of my clients just posted something uh, specifically tied in Wednesday. So she has consistently, she knows that she has to post something, create a live consistently for Wednesdays. Fridays, whatever, you can create something like Fun Fridays or whatever it is for you and your brand, right? So start to think of ways that you can um, create systems for you that can help you to become consistent with your content and your brand. And so hopefully this helped you and served you. Go ahead and type in the comments what was your biggest takeaway, what was most valuable for you today. And I want you to think about that. Come up with your audience pain points, overlap with and desires, overlapping that with your brand. Create some content categories, 6 content categories, and come up with a plan for when you will be posting. And so with that, while I wait for those comments to come in, I just wanted to share that would you like my help for you to build your brand and content visibility strategy in 60 days or less? So I do have a one-to-one launch your brand starter package. It's something, it was my signature package for many years and I've brought it back and people are loving it. I just relaunched it this summer and people are absolutely loving it. So it's going to help you clarify your niche or your niche, your target audience, and how to best communicate with them. We're going to create your unique brand identity aligned with your vision and mission and your audience. And what's important about that is once we have that aligned, then we are better able to communicate with them. It's going to save you time, energy, and money because you're going to be able to better and more effectively communicate with them. And they're going to have less confusion because they're going to know what your brand represents. And then also develop your visibility and content plan so you attract and reach your dream clients. And very importantly, and tied to this topic today, being consistent, allowing you to be consistent in your visibility and content strategy. So this is perfect for you if you're just starting out and want to turn your amazing idea into a business and brand quickly, and you need expert guidance to help you do that. Or if you've been at it for a while, launching your business and you haven't gotten any clients, or overwhelmed doing so much and not getting any results, and you wish to turn that around really fast. Or you're working in a demanding career or business and have a side hustle idea that you'd like to create, or maybe you already launched it, but you really want to start to blow it up. You don't have a lot of available time to launch it. So Brand Builder Breakthrough Strategy Session is a complimentary session for you so that I'll assess your brand now, give you some ideas on how you can build your brand. And we'll also, while we're on that call, I'll also help you to understand if this is a good fit for you. It's a 60 days or less program. So it's designed to be done over 60 days. But hey, if you want to do this all in a week and we both got the time to do it, we could put it in our calendar. Let's do it. It's a one-to-one customized plan and strategy just for you. So we're going to get on the call. We're going to have a few one-to-one strategy calls. I'm going to dedicate time just to you to get it done. I'm designed it again for 60 days, but you know what? If we want to get it done in a month or we want to get it done in 2 weeks or 10 days, let's do it. I'm all for getting you out and starting to launch your business so that you can attract those clients and make the impact that you want to make in the world. So the first step is to contact me, set up a call with my Calendly. It's calendly.com/Alexandra Figueredo. All right, guys. So I hope that this was helpful and that you found value in it. Let me know in the comments what was most valuable for you from this content today. And I'll also pin the link for this Calendly in the comments or in the description. All right, everyone. So to end, I'll say, what's really captivating? when you can authentically and passionately convey how you understand what your audience is going through and how to solve it with your content. And remember, consistency is the key. All right, everyone, have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will talk soon. Bye. For more help growing your visibility and monetizing your brand, go to alexanderfigueredo.com. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Thank you.